Okay, so in this video, we are going to cover dimensional analysis. We can use the dimensional analysis to perform a single unit, dual unit, square unit, or cubic unit for the conversion. Now, think about it. We know that for every 1 mile equals to 5,280 feet. But what about how do we convert it? 17.137 mile, that's equals to how many feet? So now we can use our rational function to convert that. Think about that. The ratio should always be the same, which means the miles over the feet should be equal, right? So that means you can either do every 1 miles always equals to 5,280 feet, which is equals to, we don't know how many feet, but we know that the mile is going to be 17.37 mile. We can set up a proportion like this, and then we can use cross multiply to figure out, okay, x equals to these things, and we solve it. Or another way to do it is to use the rational function. Here's the way to do it. So we're trying to convert it 17.37 miles. Our goal is to get to how many feet? So that means I need to multiply a conversion unit so that I can cross cancel the miles. So what will be the conversion unit? So the conversion factor or conversion unit is like either miles over feet or the feet over miles. So how do I know which one? So in here, we need to use the feet over miles. Why? Because we want to look at the unit. If it's just the unit, you will get an idea. Oh, here's a feet. You want to cross cancel the miles so that you will get to the feet. And then we know that the ratio for the miles and the feet is every 5,280 feet equals to 1 miles. So here is the conversion factor. And then the unit cross cancel because one on top, the other is on the bottom. Then we can just multiply 17.37 times 5,280 feet equals to whatever feet it is. We use a calculator and we got 91,713.6 feet. It's going to be our solution. Okay, so here is another example. So if 1 pound equals to 16 ounces, so how many pounds is 435 ounces? You can either use proportion or use the dimensional analysis way to do it. So what we are given? We are given 435 ounces, and we want to multiply a factor so that the result is going to be pounds. So that means we want to keep the pounds. Let me use the simplified one. So the unit in here has to be pounds over the ounces because we want to cross cancel the ounces for the units here. So it's given that every 1 pound equals to 16 ounces. So we can just multiply in here. Maybe I should write it closer. So the ounces and ounces cross cancel, and then I will get, hey, multiply the fractions. I have 435 times 1 over 16. Now the ounces are cross cancel, we only have pounds, equals to how many that pounds? This is equal to 450 over 16 pounds. When we simplify it, you can just keep it in that way, or you can do it with a calculator. You can calculate into convert the fraction into a decimal. That's what we get. Remember, these things is called conversion factor. We just need to figure out the conversion factor. Do we want every 1 pound equals to 16 ounces, or do we want every 16 ounces over 1 pound? To determine that, we need to know, hey, what's our final unit that we wanted and which one we want to cancel. The one that we want to cancel, we want to put into the denominator, so when they multiply, they can cross cancel. So here is another example. Let's say a student average 45 miles per hour. And now you want to convert that, what was the student's speed, in feet per second. So in here, we need to be careful about the per. Per is the fraction bar. We can put them into denominator. So miles per hour. So that means the unit is going to be mile per hour. And the goal, you want to convert it into feet per second. Okay, let's set up the equation here. We have 45 miles per hour, and your goal is trying to get feet per second. So let's do this one by one. So that means we need two conversion factor. One is the distance, the other is the times. Okay, we can do the distance first, since we already have the conversion factor for the distance. With the miles, we want to get rid of the miles. So that means your unit is going to be feet over miles, so that the miles can cross cancel. So the conversion factors in here is going to be 5,280 feet, equivalent to 1 miles. And now hours. Let's do this first. If we do this, what do we have? We have the miles, the unit cross cancel. What we have left is 45 times 5,280 over 1. The unit is going to be feet per hour. But again, our goal is trying to get feet per second. Okay, we are getting close. This part we can just leave it here, or we can do the calculation. Okay, so now how can we get from hour to second? So for the time, we have 1 hour equals to how many minutes, or 1 hour equal to how many seconds. If you're not familiar with that, what you can do is convert this to a minute first, the middle one, and then continue to convert it the minute to the second. Okay, we know that we want to cancel the hour, so we want the hour on the top, and maybe I want to add a minute before the second, because I'm not familiar with how many seconds in an hour, but I know that every 1 hour we have 60 minutes, right? And then we can continue. Now the next step is I want to convert it, the minute, to the second. Again, If you found that merge multiple step is too hard, you can do it step by step. I can start with converting the hour to the minute first. So hour and the hour, they cross cancel. What we have left here is 14.5 times 5,280 over 60. So the unit right now is feet over minute. But our goal is we want to get feet over second. Let me not use a bar. Let me use a parenthesis. So that means I still need to convert this minute to a second. So the next step should be, how do we do that? I can just do it on the top. So to do it, I need to have a minute. I want to get rid of the minute and then have a second so that these two, they can cross cancel. And we know that every 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. So the minute is get rid of. So what we have in here is 14.5 times 5,280 over 60 times 60. The unit has become feet over second, which is what we want, the feet over second. And you can use a calculator to calculate that. You will end up to have 66 feet per second. So that means 14.5 miles per hour is equivalent to 66 feet per second. Okay, so now let's try to convert this into cubic unit. So you want to convert a cubic feet to a cubic yard. Okay, so we wanted 8 cubic feet converted to cubic yard. So here's our goal. So we know that the conversion unit is, do we know, in order to convert that, we need to know, okay, how many feet equals to 1 yard, or 1 yard equals to how many feet? We know that every 1 yard, we want to get rid of feet, so the feet has to be in the bottom. Every 1 yard equals to 3 feet. So here is our conversion factor. But notice that the unit, you have a cubit, but this one has 1 exponent. So that means this is reduced by 2. That means it's not enough. That means we need to do the same things again, multiply the conversion factor times. So now if I convert it again, this one is going to reduce by another 1. We still have the feet. Now we have a 2 square yard unit. So in this case, I need to do this again. Converted that. So now the feet is gone. So now I have 8 divided by 3 times 3 times 3 equals to how many yards in here? I have 1, 2, 3. When they multiply together, I will get my unit, yard to the cubit. So in here, I got yard to the cube. So if I merge these together, I will have every 8 feet, cubic 8 feet, I need to multiply the conversion unit, which is 1 yard equivalent to 3 feet. We need to raise it to the 3rd power so that they can cross cancel the unit with 3 power. In that case, I have 8. This part is cross cancel times 1 over, 27, sorry. Yard cubic. So this is equal to 8 over 27 cubic yard. that also works for conversion it into a square. Okay, consider some dimensional problem. If you have a room is 10 feet by 12 feet. Let's say the room is a rectangular. Sorry, my dog wants to go out. Okay, so how many square yard are in the room? We know that when it comes to rectangular, this is 10 by 12, right? So the area should equals to the width times the length. And they are giving you the unit is feet, right? But what they want you to ask is the square yard. There's two ways to do it. Either you can convert that 10 feet and the 12 feet to yard first, or you can do it after you find out the square feet and then convert the square feet to the yard. You can do it later. I'm going to use the second method because we haven't tried how to convert the square yard. Okay, so the area is equals to 10 feet times the 12 feet. So that means this is equal to 120 feet square. And we know that every 1 yard equals to 3 feet. So this is our conversion factor. And since this is a square, that means when you convert that, you need to square them as well, so that you will get the square unit. Okay, so now I'm going to write it here, 120 feet, square feet times 1 yard square over 9 feet square feet. So now the square feet, they can cross cancel, and then I got 120 divided by 9 square yard. That's how I got the answer, which is equal to, you can use a calculator to do that in the fraction, or you can just keep it as is. Either way. Okay. Another example is we can use it in lots of like real life problem.